In this video, I'm going to be showing how I make a Gerstner style tool chest. I'm using drawings that I purchased from Aircraft Spruce and Specialty. The drawings themselves came from a company called Morrison Originals and were drawn in August of 1983. They are pretty sparse. You need to really understand how woodworking works and how assembly takes place. They have most of the wood in here as 3/8 inch oak, and generally they show multiple pieces being glued together in order to make your oak panels wide enough. I'm going to be using some old flooring and is no longer good enough for flooring. I'm going to be making my wood panels a little thicker than the 3/8 inch, approximately 0.45 inches. I found going as thin as 3/8 the wood is curving on me, which is unacceptable. So my wife managed to buy all this wood at a yard sale. It's flooring, oak flooring, for $50. It's moldy on top and it's got grooves in it. So I figured I would run it through my planer and get it thin enough to use on my Gerstner chest. The one issue is it's got grooves in it, and by the time I plane it thin enough, it tends to warp. So I have to plane it down on one side, glue them together, then plane the whole stack together. So I have to do 66 of these boards plane down to make 33 boards, which I can then glue together to make the chest out of. And then I'm going to run that through my planer over here. Now the planer tends to slide around on this table saw, so I have it on these skid pads. They're called bench cookies. No endorsement, that's just the only ones I found, so makes it real stable. So let's get started on this, and I've planed these boards on one side to where the grooves are no longer there, smooth, and I've glued them smooth side to smooth side. That's about half the boards. I have a few more here, the other half, and there's some on the other side that get glued together. Once these are all glued together, then I'll run them through the planer again and get rid of the grooves on the outside. Now I've glued two boards together, two of these floorboards, after planing them. And then after gluing them together, I planed them again to get them down to a 1/2 inch thick. And now what I have to do is cut this tongue and groove off. I've got two tongues here, two grooves here. So I'll just run them through the saw, cut those off, and then they'll be ready to use for assembling the different parts of the chest.